Ever feel like your business is running you instead of the other way around? You're saying yes to everything, working around the clock, and somehow still feeling like you're falling behind. Let me tell you, it doesn't have to be that way. In today's episode, we're talking about how to set simple, effective boundaries in your business. These boundaries will help you take back control of your time, protect your energy, and create a business that works for you, not the other way around. So grab your favorite beverage and let's get started. You're listening to the Productive Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Tonia Kendrick, and I'm on a mission to help online business owners like you focus on the right things and take imperfect action. Every week, you'll get my best tips on everything from time management and content creation to planning effectively and managing mindset issues, all in an effort to help you become more productive. So let's jump into this episode. First things first, what exactly are boundaries in business? Think of them as the rules of the game. They're the guidelines you put in place to protect your time, energy, and resources. When you're clear about your boundaries, you can avoid burnout, keep your clients happy, and create space for what matters most. Boundaries aren't about building walls. They're about creating structure. For example, having set office hours tells clients and family, this is my work time and this is my personal time. It's a win-win because everyone knows what to expect. Now let's do a quick check-in. If any of these sound familiar, it's time to get serious about boundaries. You feel annoyed or resentful when people ask for your time. You're lying awake at night with a mental to-do list that just won't quit. That one still happens to me sometimes. Burnout is creeping in or already here. Your relationships, business or personal, feel strained. You constantly feel pulled in a million directions. Any of that sound like you? Don't worry, you're not alone. These are all signs that it's time to draw some lines in the sand. And trust me, it's going to feel so freeing when you do. Okay, let's talk about why boundaries are so powerful. One, they help you avoid conflict. I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge fan of conflict, so I'll avoid it if I can. And when everyone knows the rules, there's less room for misunderstandings. Whether it's a client respecting your response times or a family member honoring your work hours, clear boundaries reduce friction. When you say no to what doesn't serve you, you create space to say yes to what does. That means more time for the work you love that drives your business forward. They improve work-life balance. That's the holy grail for solopreneurs, right? Especially those of us who work from home. Boundaries help you unplug without guilt. And by the way, I talk more about work-life balance solutions in episode 7. I'll pop a link to that in the show notes. So when should you set boundaries? The short answer, now. If you're just starting your business, don't fall into the trap of thinking you need to hustle 24/7 to succeed. Trust me, that road leads straight to Burnout City. And if you've been in business for a while without boundaries, it's never too late to start. In fact, hit pause on this episode if you need to and jot down some ideas. Boundaries are all about intention, so the sooner you set them, the better. Oh, and I share more ways to combat burnout and exhaustion in episode 32. I'll be sure to add a link to that in the show notes. Now for the fun part, action steps. Here are 5 simple boundaries you can put into place right now. First, set office hours. Working from home doesn't mean you're available 24/7. Decide on start and end times for your workday and stick to them. Let clients, friends, and family know your schedule so they can honor it too. Next, turn off notifications. Seriously, y'all. If you haven't turned off notifications yet, do it now. Your phone does not need to be your boss. Turn off email and social media notifications during work hours, or better yet, schedule times to check them. Third, limit your meetings. Not every meeting needs to happen or take up a big chunk of your day. Set clear rules like no meetings after 5 p.m., that's one of mine, or Fridays are reserved for admin tasks. This helps you keep your calendar manageable and ensures you're protecting your time for focused work and personal priorities. Fourth, say no to scope creep. This is probably the one I struggle with the most. Have you ever agreed to do just one more thing for a client and regretted it? Same here. Or added one more task to a project because it'll just take a minute. Set clear expectations from the start and don't be afraid to say no when requests fall outside your agreed upon work. And that includes saying no to yourself. Decide the scope of your own projects and stick to it. And number 5, protect your personal time. Schedule at least one full day off each week. And when you're off, be off. No checking emails or just finishing one little task. Your brain and body need rest to perform at their best. And if you can't bring yourself to take a full day off, then take off 2 half days. Setting boundaries is one thing, sticking to them is another. Here's how to make sure your boundaries work for you. 1, communicate clearly. Spell out your boundaries in your contracts, welcome emails, or even your website FAQs. For example, let clients know your response time is within 24 hours during business hours, not at 2 a.m. on a Saturday. And in episode 24, I share 11 communication tips every solopreneur should know. I'll drop a link to that in the show notes. 2, be consistent. The first time you answer an email outside of your office hours, you've set a new precedent. Stick to your rules, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. 3, review and adjust. Your boundaries aren't set in stone. Check in with yourself regularly. What's working? What's not? Tweak as needed to keep your boundaries aligned with your goals. All right, let's wrap this up with an action plan. Here's what I want you to do. First, list 3 boundaries you need most right now. Is it turning off notifications? Saying no to late meetings? Whatever comes to mind, write it down. Next, decide how you'll communicate them. Will you update your website? Send an email to your clients? Post your office hours in your email signature? And then put them into action this week. Boundaries only work if you stick to them. Commit to trying out your new rules for at least a week and see how it feels. Boundaries aren't about being rigid or unkind. They're about protecting what matters most to you and your business. By setting simple, clear guidelines, you'll not only feel more in control, but also create a better experience for your clients, family, and most importantly, you. So what's your first boundary going to be? I'd love to hear about it. Send me an email or share it on Instagram. And don't forget to tag me. My handle is @ToniaKendrick. And thanks so much for tuning in today. Until next time, take care of yourself and your business. And before you go, if you like what you hear on the Productive Entrepreneur podcast, then come check out the Organized Business Toolbox. It's my monthly membership for solo entrepreneurs who want to feel in control and take imperfect action to move their businesses forward. When you join, you'll get instant access to the Training and Resource Vault, and a new toolbox or course drops every month. Plus, we have monthly Voxer office hours where you can privately ask me questions and get my direct feedback. If that sounds like something you need, the link is in the show notes, or visit ToniaKendrick.com, and I'll see you on the inside.